Mm.
So
Next.
most of you, thanks, Nevin. Most of you know by this stage who I am. I am a PI on GEMS project, gaming ecosystem as multi-layered security threat. That was the first project funded by European Commission to look at the security issue of gaming system ecosystem that is quite large. And we are very grateful to be given this opportunity to do that. Next slide, Nevin. Yes. So you have QR code to the GEMS project there. Just a little bit of information that you can find deliverables and publications to date there. You can also find, as you can imagine, the events that we have done and collaborations that we are creating that you will hear more about it. But we are also on Cordis, and we are, as you can see there, in our final year of the project. So it's been an interesting journey, but we're not fully there. We are very excited that we are now at a stage that we have most of our results consolidated, and we are just working on implementing it across the great range of outputs that we are creating here. So next slide. This is just very brief. Again, most of the people in the consortia know this, but some of you who don't know this, basically our hypothesis and our space where we worked for the GEMS project is this what we call pre-selection process, where grooming and soft radicalization happen. As you all know, the gamer enters the online multiplayer setting with communication platforms and all the other paraphernalia that is around, but often a really hard recruitment and hard radicalization happens when the gamer leaves the online multiplayer setting for private and cryptic communication channels. Like most of you, we don't have access to those. We couldn't work in that space. So our work has been focused on the pre-selection and grooming and soft radicalization space. So next one, Nevin. Needless to say, again, all of you know this, video games are the most popular form of entertainment today. Gaming industry is larger than music, movies, and film industry combined. 197 billion in revenue in 2025, and in Europe, they're the largest entertainment sector. So stats are there. Next one, Nevin. Also, 3.6 billion people play video games, and by 2026, which is now, it is estimated that another 133 million people will be playing. Around 128 million are playing in Europe's 5 major markets. So 54% between the age of 6 and 64. And again, by this year, it's estimated another 4 million people will join. So we have a large annual growth. And it is, again, as you know, a space that European Commission, as well as other think tanks and other groups, are interested to know what exactly is happening there. Because unlike other online spaces to date, this was mostly under-researched, apart of few exceptional examples, such as EGRN and a couple of other individuals that work on this. So interestingly, as you can see here, we have an interesting spread of people playing games. I think it's important to stress that while current research is mainly, and rightly so, because of concern, particularly by Commission, on what is happening with minors, and they're, again, rightly so seen as the most vulnerable group. We also see a spread of players across a different age demographic. And interestingly, quite a large amount of people, both in Europe and in US, are elderly players. So we're talking in US between age 50 and 64. So we have between 50 and 59, 17%, and then 8% over 60, where in Europe, 24% are playing video games between ages of 45 and 64. So while current resilience and vulnerability may have been focused on the younger players, this demographic also is in need of a further research. It will be very interesting. I had a interesting communication with a lady who works with war veterans in US, who we were discussing one issue which relates to them and how often they are recruited into a different extremist groups because they are viewed as people who already have a psychological setup to follow hierarchy and are obedient, and also practical understanding of working with weapons and warfare, etc. So there are gaps outside minors. This is all I'm trying to say, that would be interesting to look at. Next slide, Neven. Okay, Neven, by the way, can I see people as well? It looks like that I'm only the one who can see myself. Did you remove the people? Hello?
Yeah, everybody's here. You can just proceed with your presentation. Yeah, you are pinned for everybody, so that's by default.
Okay, no problem, no problem. I just kind of like to see people, faces and reactions, but it's okay. I can cope. So the objectives to date, like we had when we started this project, we first of all we have a wonderful consortium. As a PI, I couldn't have been more happier with all the work, all the effort that has happened to date, and the consortium that we have created and the work that has been done. As you would see throughout the today, some amazing findings are there, and we have done a lot of work of pioneering scale. So we had 6 objectives, and the first one was to enhance the scientific academic knowledge base of complex gaming ecosystem and develop sociology of gaming and radicalization. For that reason, we have created a critical field of inquiry in work package 1, and we have done a large-scale 1,500 participants survey also as well. I'm going to touch upon it a little with my main findings slightly later on, but Owen, who is on advisory board for GEMS project and who collaborated with us with this, would give further presentation and more detailed analysis of this survey. In relation, we have also done a number of interviews across the scale with different stakeholders, participated in a number of different events. So as you know, some interviews would have been more formal, others would be chatting, investigating, etc. While it spreads across all, as all the projects do, all of the project, this conference is largely based on the work package 1 and theoretical underpinnings that we have been working on since the beginning, really. We also, our objective was to understand the methods of pre-selection, as I mentioned, on vulnerable individuals in online gaming spaces and recruitment methods and tools. For that, we have conducted qualitative and quantitative analysis of extremist content across gaming spaces on STEM, Discord, 4chan, Game Uprising, and Incels in work package 2. This was led by Moonshot. Again, we were very lucky to have them as a partner, and Charlotte is here. She would be talking later about some of the finding specific areas of this. Yes, so if you have any question in relation to that, please keep those questions for later. This was very innovative. findings, and we are disseminating them largely and incorporating them also into the other tools that we are producing that I will say a couple of words about now. So we have collaborated from the very beginning with law enforcement agency. Rob, who you heard later there, is the work package leader of this work package. And again, very happy that we have had a police officer leading that work package, because it's always the best to have somebody who is on the ground to work with law enforcement. And we will provide law enforcement with training materials and increase understanding of radicalization in the gaming ecosystem. We are making huge progress there. It was based also on needs analysis, which was a survey followed by a number of interviews in a number of countries, including Ireland. And as I see Darren Martin from Angarda Shona, which is Irish police, have just joined. He has done amazing work, and we got a huge amount of responses from Irish police as well in relation to this area. So we are incorporating all of these insights into the training materials. Like I said, while we have some of the practical outputs that I'm mentioning now, all of the theoretical knowledge that we have been building from the beginning of the project has been incorporating into these practical outputs. And as well, we would have more academic outputs as well, but this conference is one of those. We have also, very importantly, forced a cross-sectoral dialogue and knowledge exchange with non-EU international stakeholders, experience in countering online extremist presence and protection of youth, engagement with the non-EU partners, leveraging their experiences, insights, and practices to enrich the outputs of the GEMS comprehensive mapping exercise of international entities. There are 3 reports that have been produced by AGSKK partner. Can somebody turn off the, yeah, I can see the background noise. These reports are currently not available for the public, but they should be available very shortly. They are under, Commission is overseeing them at the moment, but I believe then within a couple of months, the latest these reports would be available for public. And again, anything that you need, you can just email us and we can share that. We will also have AGSKK represented by work package leader Dominik Kudlacek join us at the end of the day to lead the round discussion, where some of the experiences that they have gathered would be discussed with some of the experiences that we are going to be talking to today. We have also developed, this was a painful process, believe me or not, because we are at that stage where AI is so important, but we have entered this project when we were writing the proposal for this project, so many things have not been developed the way that they're developed now. So we had to really work hard to produce the Watchtower and just make it actually work in accordance to all the rules and regulations that are coming. But we are very, very proud. There is a small little picture over there. It still gives me nightmare, but we got there, and this is very important. So Watchtower currently, it's recognized. Yep, this is it. So Neven, if you can go back to the slides as it was, it's recognized it's recognizing extremist presence in the gaming ecosystem. We have created a data set to train the module and use insights from a data set from Moonshot. So we have 2 major data sets in the GEMS project that we were working with, and we are capable of interrupting grooming and recruitment attempts. This is a trained large language model based on Llama 3 8B. And again, if there are further questions about it, there would be a few minutes after I finish talking here now that you can ask those questions, but the conference is kind of mostly academic, as I said. We have also developed a European Network Against Gaming-Related Extremism, ENGAGE, which is a cross-sectoral network composed of law enforcement, gaming professionals, community representatives, civil society, industry, obviously, as gaming professional, and a Details of it are current members, etc., on the website. And thank you very much. Big clap to EliaMap for producing conducting and completing this really challenging work with the comprehensive data set, another one with all the relevant organizations, etc., related to this subject. So further, Neven, so I don't go over time. Next slide, please. So back to today. So when we started this project, particularly in the work package 1, we identified 10 things that are part of sociology of gaming and radicalization, and then picked bits and pieces out of this that we have done research on, that we will talk about. Different members of the team will talk more about it throughout the day. Needless to say, it is a massive field. Well, it is a field that doesn't really exist as such. Number of research, some pioneering, what we called in our first deliverable, which we submitted as a literature review mostly of what has been done by now. It's also available on the website if you are interested. Has what we called, how we define it is that there is a first wave of research. So it's a number of groups that you are aware of it, from members of EGN and etc. Linda, who is going to be talking later as well, who has done her pioneering research, while still PhD student, now has her own project in Germany, which is great. They kind of cleared or started the pathway into this research. GEMS project came second, and we see it as a second wave of research, where we went into some details of the first wave, elaborated on some, did a further analysis of some surveys, such as the UN survey that was conducted. We kind of based our survey on that survey and then further research. So we kind of picked bits and pieces from these themes that are helpful to us to try to form a meaningful field. So this is the aim from this work package 1, to have a publication largely also based on the podcasts and the discussions that we're going to have today, which would be the first textbook defining and starting this field. So first of all, we understand this gaming ecosystem as social system. It's a fluid social system, but it's a social system. It's a complex social system. There is nothing simple about it, as you all know. And it is defined by arrangement of social interaction based on norms, values, culture, and shared behavior. When I say that as a sociologist, and again, all of you understand that, there is nothing homogeneous here. There is a lot of different things that are happening within this system. And we were and are researching them. So some of these 10, more work has been done than on others. So for example, one of the most crucial elements is gaming culture, beliefs, norms, language, symbol, rituals, etc. And quite a bit of research, as you know, has been already done on this by Rachel Covert, etc., and other people. And there are a few books out on this. Galen has done some work, etc. Like, for example, what was interesting and what we discussed at the beginning is like what values are being internalized at the formational age. Now then we are returning to minors again by gamers regarding the meaning of what is success, what is achievement, etc. These things are to be again further research, but these are important. Then we have gaming communities within the gaming community, as opposed to non-gaming community. We actually had a discussion for months, and I'm sure, because this is a conference about identity, that we would be discussing it today as well. What really does it mean to be a gamer, etc. We just jotted few things and noticed few things of importance over time here, such as that we can view it or not view it as a subculture. Again, this is something that we can discuss. We can look at the general evolution over time and how things are changed and how things are changing. We can look at rejection by gamers of games as service based on commodities. We can look at countercultures. We can look at resistance. Is it partly a resistant? We can look at generational dimension and a offline gaming experiences and radicalization that Yanis is going to talk about. Research that we have conducted there, because often people have an idea when we're talking about gaming that it's always online, and very little research has been done on the offline gaming radicalization, not just radicalization, experiences and subculture. And again, I'm glad to say that LMF has done amazing work there. Gaming and financial issues, we had a great interest to do more about, but didn't yet get a chance to do, which doesn't mean that we wouldn't in a focus group that we are still to conduct, to explore these issues a little bit in more depth, because there is a lot of issues there, from political economy and how it works, cryptocurrency, distinction between rich and poor gamers, and what does that mean for equality. This is all sociological concern. Then there is a semi-legal system there, casinos and football games, for it's one of the example. Again, if we're talking about minors, what does that mean? Money laundering, charity aid to fund terrorist organization, we are both aware of those, flea markets within gaming ecosystem, etc. Racial ethnic element within gaming ecosystem has possibly been and inequalities there least researched, while hugely relevant outside making sure that we are looking who is gaming. So collecting data on identities as a just collecting data on ethnicity, etc. But further dive into this would be very interesting to me as well. It's something that it's my background as well. Subversive nature of gaming subcultures, another aspect that can be further research, and then a lot of sociological pondering on reality. This is a philosophical issues. Reality and non-reality, what is real? Are we getting into the stage that online reality is more real than the offline reality? Are they hybrid? How they, again, Yanis would say some things about that. How does this all operate? Sociologically, we're very interested in that. Misogyny within gaming system is huge, unfortunately. Charlotte will touch upon that, and we could find that in our findings. And then radicalization and recruitment with the gaming ecosystem and its dynamic, it's nothing but simplistic. Number of things are happening here. I would mention some of them now in the next few slides, but it's not linear, it's not simple, it is very complex, and it is also connected to all the other online and offline spaces. So the economy needs to be understood more in depth. We also work with we also produce some, actually we just submitted, well done to LMF team for policy making papers that have been based on intensive interviews with number of stakeholders across number of different countries. You will have information again on it very soon, hopefully within a month or so after we clear it with European Commission and our reviewers. But some very interesting findings, again, first of their kind, because this is the first project of its kind. And then also huge part of this whole field would be studying further initiative related to regulation, ad industry within the gaming ecosystem, international politics of regulation that Work Package 4 worked on a bit, and in general fostering a more strong collaboration and relationship with gaming industry. When the research started in relation to this ecosystem, we feel that the gaming industry was somewhat left behind. So we are working very hard to incorporate, and I hope I have some of you here. Video Games Europe is definitely a partner in Engage. We would like to, for the following months of this project, to foster even stronger bonds with a industry. And on that note, just to say, we have fostered very, very strong collaboration with law enforcement in many different countries. Thank you so much for our partners in our consortium. We have 4 Spanish police, Belgian police, Kosovo police, and Irish police. And we have many more in our Engage, and we have fostered a relationship with CEPOL and Europol. So these are the relationship we will be working further on as well. So this is kind of where we at in how theoretically we frame our research in Work Package 1. But one theme that and that's why this conference is about identity, that kind of sprung to us from all of these things, is that we need to understand gaming identities in more detail, vulnerabilities as well as resiliences. So with that in mind, we created this conference, and the podcasts that follow will be reflecting on this. So without further ado on the introduction, unless somebody has any pressing questions, I would just like to say something about our main findings. Any questions?
Oh, well, very interesting. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So Neven, could you then just give me the yes. So we identified 4 main points in our work to date that I just want to flag, and then I said other people will be elaborating much more in detail on those throughout the day. So when a commission put a call out, again, we're talking now, so we are year 3, we brought the project, we're talking for something years ago, what was under-researched and what was of interest to the commission was to find out what is happening in game chat, in games. What kind of recruitment, is there recruitment, how much, etc. What we found is that over time, there is the decline of integrated chat. We found that game publishers are increasingly removing or reducing in-game communication feature like chat and social hubs to cut costs and avoid moderation responsibilities that are huge and expensive, leaving game to itself to be a game. This doesn't mean that there is no communication. It just means that communication has shifted into a different platform, and implication for law enforcement in relation to this would be to focus on those third-party platforms rather than relying on in-game logs, which are less likely to continue meaningful conversation at the moment. We looked at the time when we were doing this particular research into external platforms such as Discord and console party chats. But again, as you all know, this is such a fluid environment that this may not be relevant in a few months' time. There might be a different gaming adjacent platforms, as we call it within the gaming ecosystem. But we find that this is where we should keep an eye on. Next one, Neven, please. We also find, Neven, and if there are questions for this, please, ask. We found that we analyzed extremist manifestos in depth, in addition to the survey, the interviews, the law enforcement survey, and other methods. And we have found that gaming often served as a sanctuary or casual pastime, with radicalization steps coinciding with periods of reduced gaming. This was very interesting. There is a paper out by Neven at the moment under revision for submission. Hopefully soon we will have that on the website as well. We found that rather than, for some of these, rather than being training grounds, so to speak, which often can be viewed as that, gaming was helping them escape and not radicalize. And their active periods of radicalization happened when they were not gaming. So that was kind of a very interesting finding for us. And like I said, you can read more about that. I'm just aware of my time in a upcoming paper, and we can discuss it further. There would be spaces. Also, something that nobody has ever really done. Often the focus, and it still should be, on the individuals who are recruiting. And while this is fine, that focus is fine to stay, I think another layer, we would argue, is needed, in which we looked at the behavioral shift as indicators of radicalization of the players themselves. So change in gaming habits may be more telling indicator of an individual's offline radicalization path than the act of gaming itself. This is related, like I said, to the manifestos. So behaviors, thanks, Neven, extra 5 minutes, it's okay, yes. And I'm admitting this as well. So these behaviors could be moving from cooperative play to intentionally disrupting others, griefing, increased reported rates for other problematic issues, and shutdown or abandonment of user accounts, or a combination of the above. These are findings that need to be obviously discussed further with law enforcement, with ethics, well, have an overview, ethical overview of those, and for now they're out there as a publication that hopefully would open further discussion, so to speak. So next one, Neven, please. Legacy of gaming social structures and cafes. I'm not going to go too much into detail, as I said, into this one, because Yanis is coming after me and he has a wonderful presentation in relation to this, and so much work has been done with groundbreaking work really by LEMF there, with people hanging around the hubs and observing behavior, wonderful sociological work. What is important to say here is that physical gaming venues like LAN cafes and esports arenas, they remain significant social spaces, and they bridge online and offline interaction for young players. They still exist, particularly in certain parts of the world. Well, they exist everywhere, they're just slightly different. In Western Balkans, and where I come from originally, they still exist almost in every town. And are frequented regularly by players, where maybe in some Western European countries, most players are playing from home, but then the esports are coming in. Even here in Dublin, we have had venues for the gaming that are opening up, which weren't there a few years ago, for people to game in person. So this is something that requires further research past us. But it's something that really we shouldn't ignore either, because these are the environments for identity expression. These are the spaces they can become settings where local identity conflicts and exposure to extremist adjacent aesthetics and conspiracy theories occur, particularly among younger, again, unsupervised male patrons, which was found in our research. And again, LEMF starting as we talk about porous digital boundaries, because this cafe create fluid environments where conversation and group dynamics easily transition from in-person play to less moderated online platform, again, like Discord and Telegram at the time of our research, presenting potential vulnerabilities. So in a nutshell, space is not to be ignored. Another one, Neven, and I think that's my final one before I open to 10 minutes of questions. As I said, Owen is going to talk about a survey, which was wonderful. We were very lucky to get such a huge amount of players, and I want to use this opportunity to thank Linda. I don't know if she's here yet, but she has helped us with getting hold of the original UN first of its kind survey that we based a survey on. We changed certain things, but we based and compared the two surveys. So that was our starting ground for the survey. And what we found kind of overall, and like I said, Owen is going to go into more details. Three things. Not surprisingly, widespread and normalized toxicity. Hate speech is persistent and often normalized feature of multiple player gaming, which can desensitize players and lower their resistance to more extreme ideology. So like I said earlier, rather than a straightforward recruitment that may have happened offline in the past in relation to some extremist groups, when people were given leaflets and asked to join the meeting, etc., what we are finding is that there is just a toxic environment and lowering the level of acceptance, so to speak, of what is being shared, which normalization, as we know sociologically, can be problematic, particularly for the vulnerable populations. More of that would be in the guide that we have submitted also now to the European Commission for review, and it would be available publicly later, and there are some examples there as well. So watch that space. So within that environment, what we have saw when we call slipstreaming of extremist ideas. Basically, extremists can exploit the routine nature of this toxic banter to subtly introduce their ideas and identity. Deceptive individuals with immediate detection would then be vulnerable to it. We saw that as well, and this is described in guide in detail, particularly in relation to humor. Something that starts with humor, you kind of testing the ground how the person would react, and then the humor is no longer human because something that it's acceptable, and vulnerable individuals may not want to talk or resist that humor, etc. So overall, what is relevant for the stakeholders across the board is that we find that effective prevention requires a shared understanding of terms like recruitment and grooming among researchers, gaming companies, and law enforcement to ensure consistent action on the same signals. We still don't have that. Policy recommendation that I mentioned have been submitted as well a few days ago, actually, point out that we need more of that. So we're working on it, and we're working on it in collaboration with relevant stakeholders. So these, again, will be shared with member states, and hopefully further work can be done on this common understanding. I think this is my last slide, Neven, isn't it?
Yep.
So I stayed within time. This is unusual for me, but we have 10 minutes, around 10 minutes now for you to ask me any major big questions in relation to this, and then we will pass on to other presentations.